With the news that the 1992 Swedish final has been postponed because of the track conditions. We just keep our fingers crossed that tomorrow, Sunday, that the weather holds off and that we can bring this final to a climax. So as you can see, 24 hours later, the sun shines in Mariestad, and we look forward to what we hope will be a spectacular action. Is 16 of the top class riders here in Sweden, well 15 should I say, and one American take part in this final. This is the qualifying race for the 16th and final place. Jörgen Johansson red, Connie Iversen in blue, Kenneth Nyström, the only Division 1 rider in this one, along with Peter Norlin, who's already qualified. All the rest come from the Swedish Elite League, and Mikael Witterau in yellow and black. That's what they laid down up for the race jacket number 16 here in Mariestad. Thankfully, the rain has eased. The track was literally underwater yesterday, and the crowd have come back in their thousands to watch what we hope will be a spectacular event here on this 295-metre circuit here at Mariestad. So this is a qualifying race. This now goes under starters' orders, and the tapes rise, and the first one to show is the rider in white, which is Kenneth Nyström, but coming underneath him is Connie Iversen from Vetlanda. So Vetlanda, Connie Iversen is there. Iversen, Nyström, Jörgen Johansson, all in that order, all pucks together so tightly. And as I've told you, this is for the final qualifying place. Number 16 race jacket. Connie Iversen from Vetlanda, Jörgen Johansson from Västervik, Mikael Witterau also from Vetlanda, and Kenneth Nyström from Göteborg. And now all of a sudden the minor places are very, very important here, all trying to get to the front. This is the last sudden death. With one more lap to go, it's looking set for a win for Connie Iversen. The Vetlanda flyer looking set down the back straight for that 16th race jacket here in Mariestad this afternoon. Coming up to take the win, it's Connie Iversen that gets there. Second place is Kenneth Nyström, and in third place, Jörgen Johansson. So Connie Iversen goes through to the 1992 Swedish final to wear the number 16 race jacket. Congratulations on winning that qualifying place. So there we see the lineup for heat number 1. Henrik Gustafsson rides in red. John Cook, the lone American in this field, and his reason for being here, ladies and gentlemen, he's married a Swedish girl in Eskilstuna and now takes out a Swedish speedway licence. That's the reason for him being here. Of course, rides for Kumla. Gustafsson red, Cook blue, Niklas Klingberg white, Kenneth Lindby in yellow and black, and up go the tapes and they roar into action, and the Swedish Speedway final of 1992 is underway. Gustafsson leads, Cook on the outside of him, but it's Henko Gustafsson from Kumla. Just look at Cook around the outside of him, wind on that throttle, increase the power, and he's done it. Just look at Cook. Gustafsson on the inside, Cook on the outside, and Gustafsson tries to get back there, but he can't. Cowboy John Cook from Kumla leads. Henko Gustafsson from Kumla. Third place in white is Klingberg from Mariestad. Down the back straight, what a brave and tenacious ride from John Cook. Comes round the bends, looking set for 3 points in the opening race. On the final lap, still it is. Gustafsson in second place. Is there anything left? I just can't imagine there possibly can be. Cook in the blue helmet colours, the sun shines down here at Mariestad, comes out to take the win. Second place goes to Henrik Gustafsson. In third place goes to Niklas Klingberg. What a ferocious first and second lap here in heat number 1. Tremendous riding ability from John Cook, and equally from Henrik Gustafsson. At this moment in time, it was Henrik Gustafsson who had the daylight in front of him. But just look at John Cook. Really, at that time, just wind open the throttle, sit back on that back wheel, gets the drive on the outside. Gustafsson trying to keep there, but Cook then leans over on, look at it lean onto Gustafsson. Tremendous style from the good old veteran, 33 years of age, but still doing the biz in Swedish Speedway these days, and goes on to get the win in heat number 1. And we've just heard from the referee that Cook has broken the Mariestad track record. 57.6 was John's winning time for heat number 1, beating the previous 58.2 of Peter Carlson and Calvin Tatum. So congratulations to Cookie. Jimmy Nielsen red, heat 2. Peter Carlson in blue, Nicholas Carlson white, and Mikael Carlson yellow and black. And it's Nielsen leads. Mikael Carlson go down in the dirt, but it's Jimmy Nielsen that leads from Stockholm. Second place, Mikael Carlson in yellow and black, but it's Jimmy Nielsen riding for Stockholm in the Swedish Elite League, and Swindon in the Home Fire League in England. Peter Carlson now coming round the outside of his brother. Peter Carlson in blue, Mikael Carlson in yellow and black, and that's the battle between the brothers. Both riding, of course, in Mariestad, as well as Nicholas Carlson in fourth place. It's all Carlsons in this one. But the man who leads is Jimmy Nielsen, so unfortunate in that World Final a week ago when an exclusion, a very doubtful exclusion, I may add too, cost him most certainly a place on the rostrum in Wrocław in Poland. But he leads easily, heat number 2. Coming round, surely set for 3 points, the title that he's never won. And Jimmy Nielsen gets a win in heat 2. Second place goes to Peter Carlson. And in third place, his brother, Mikael Carlson. So Jimmy Nielsen 3, Peter Carlson 2, and Mikael Carlson 1 point. That's the result of heat number 2. Well, this tournament started back in 1936 and has been going for several seasons now. Ovi Funden, the legendary Ovi Funden, has won the maximum. He's won 9 Swedish titles to his name. We move on to heat 3, which is Dennis Lundqvist red, Connie Iversen riding in blue, Klaus Iversen riding in blue, Jimmy Ingman white, and Per Jonsson in yellow and black. Literally drives around the pack on that first turn. So Per Jonsson with number 12 on his back, second in the recent World Individual Speedway Championship. He leads, second place in red, Dennis Lundqvist. Third in blue is red, should I say, is Dennis Lundqvist in number 10 on his back. In blue in second place is Klaus Iversen from Vetlanda, Dennis Lundqvist from Gotland. But Per Jonsson leading by the proverbial mile in this one. Jonsson from Stockholm, second place, Klaus Iversen, Vetlanda. Third place, Lundqvist, Gotland. And Jonsson, as I said, has won this title on 3 occasions, 3 consecutive years, 86 in Norrköping, 87 in Gothenburg, and 88 in Kumla. So he's pretty used to these titles. Lost the runoff for third place last year in Vetlanda to Klaus Iversen, but comes out for an easy win in heat number 3. 3 points to Per Jonsson, 2 goes to Klaus Iversen, and 1 to Dennis Lundqvist. That's the result of heat number 3. Riders coming to the line for heat number 4, which sees Tony Olsen from Gotland ride in red, Tony Rickardson from Hulstevik riding in blue, Connie Iversen we just see win the qualifying race riding white from Vetlanda, and the cowboy from Eskilstuna, Peter Nalin, riding in the yellow and black. This is heat number 4. Into that turn they all drive on. It's the yellow and black habit colour of Peter Nalin who gets the drive round them. He leads down the back straight. Second place in blue, Tony Rickardson. So Nalin leads, Rickardson in second place, Olsen third, Connie Iversen back in fourth position. But it's the good old cowboy from Eskilstuna, the only rider who competes in the Swedish Division 1 in his field this afternoon. Decided to stay with them when they were relegated last season, having a very, very successful return to Home Fire League action with the Eastbourne Eagles. So it's Nalin that leads. Still from Tony Rickardson, former world number 2, with Tony Olsen back in third position. But Nalin looking set to open his account here in Mariestad this afternoon with 3 points. Gets those wheels in line, and it's Nalin who gets a win. Second place, Tony Rickardson. Tony Olsen back in third position. And in fourth place was Connie Iversen. So there he is, Peter Nalin gets 3 points from heat number 3, 2 to Rickardson, and 1 to Connie Iversen. Well, we just heard from the pits that Tony Olsen was excluded from that particular race for a silencer offence. So Connie Iversen picking up the 1 point in heat number 4. So we move on to heat number 5, which sees Peter Nalin come out for 2 on the trot after the track has been regraded. He rides in red, Henrik Gustafsson rides in blue, Jimmy Nielsen, previous heat winner, rides in white, and Jimmy Ingman, also from Stockholm, yellow and black, he rides in heat number 4. This is heat number 5. Into that turn they speed, and Nalin got the drive on the inside. Nalin leads, Gustafsson comes back underneath him. Has he got the speed? Nalin leads, Gustafsson second, Jimmy Nielsen third in that order. But Nalin is really riding like a rider possessed this afternoon. Lost in a dramatic runoff last season, you may recall, here on Screen Sport for that Swedish title. then won by Peter Carlson. Dramatic it was indeed in Vetlanda. But it's Norleen who at this moment in time is looking good, and if he can keep Gustafsson at the back, this will be his second win of the afternoon. Still very, very fast and speedy competitor, but he knows that he got Henrik Gustafsson breathing down the old exhaust pipe. Norleen straightens up, down the back straight. Gustafsson still second, Nielsen third. But coming up for his second win of the afternoon, it's Norleen who gets there. Second place goes to Henrik Gustafsson. Jimmy Nielsen, previous race winner, has to be content with third place. So, Peter Norleen gets 3 more points, 2 more to Henrik Gustafsson, and 1 for Jimmy Nielsen. Peter Norleen, the winner of heat number 5. So heat number 6 sees Tony Rickardsson there in red, former world number 2. Achieved that last season in the Ullevi Stadium in Gothenburg behind Janno Petersen. He goes into red. Dennis Lufqvist from Gotland in blue. John Cook from Kumla. Track record to John in heat number 1, 57.6. And Nicholas Carlson rides in yellow and black. So just to let you know, as always, 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for coming third. You get absolutely nothing in this game for coming in 4th place. Riders coming into the line, starting marshal calling them in. The green light goes on. Up go the tapes, and heat number 6 gets underway, and it's Cook and Lufqvist has got there, and Olsen Rickardsson as well. But Cook, who has made the momentum and carried on going down the back straight. So Cook leads, Rickardsson second, Lufqvist third, with 1 lap gone. So John Cook, really, a tremendous scrap and a tremendous race in heat number 1 when he beat Henrik Gustafsson. And really is riding superbly well. The 33-year-old racing these days for Kumla in Sweden only, having taken out that Swedish Speedway licence. And, well, Cowboy they called him in his days with Ipswich in the British League as it was known then. Nowadays, besides Speedway, also a very mean competitor and test pilot for the old jet skis, but still a mean machine on the shale for Kumla. Pushing Mariestad for the title in 1992, although it's fair to say Mariestad have just got the edge as Cook gets the win. Second place goes to Rickardsson, and Dennis Lufqvist has to be content with third place. So John Cook gets his second win of the afternoon, and well, in the driving seat along with Peter Norleen, both of those riders unbeaten at this moment in time, but it's John Cook who gets the 3 points for winning heat number 6. So we move on to heat number 7, which sees Klaus Iversen ride in red. Tony Olsen blue, Peter Carlson there, the former Swedish champion. Twice he's been Swedish champion, he's in white. Yellow and black is Nicholas Klimberg. Klaus Iversen, 2 points first time out. Tony Olsen excluded for a silencer offence, and Peter Carlson getting a second place as well. So, plenty of questions to answer as we go to the tapes for heat number 7. Up go the tapes, the engines roar into action, and the first one to show is the rider in white and the rider in red, which is Klaus Iversen, who's just got the drop down the back straight. Klaus Iversen leads. Tony Olsen in second place. Third is Peter Carlson. So Klaus Iversen looking very, very impressive at this moment in time in heat number 7. Iversen leads, second place, Tony Olsen, Peter Carlson, white third. And in this moment in time, Klaus Iversen making his presence felt as he did in 1991 in Vetlanda. Bit of a thrill merchant on that occasion, forcing a run-off for bronze medal position with Per Jonsson. So Klaus Iversen leads, Tony Olsen in second place. Peter Carlson third. And Klaus Iversen looking very, very brave, very, very smooth, very, very stylish. Still he leads by the proverbial mile from Tony Olsen in second place. Peter Carlson further back in third position. But it's a good win for Klaus Iversen who gets there. Second place goes to Tony Olsen, and Peter Carlson has to be content with 1 spot. But a good and stylish ride for Klaus Iversen, who now is on 5 points after his second outing in heat number 7. Heat number 8 of this 1992 Swedish Speedway final, and Kenneth Lindby rides in red. Mikael Karlsson in blue, Per Jonsson in white, and Conny Iversen in yellow and black. The tapes rides on heat number 8 and into that speed. Look at the rider in blue, Mikael Karlsson, who's got the drop on Per Jonsson, and red coming through to join him as well, but can't do it. So Jonsson in second place at the moment from Mikael Karlsson from Mariestad. one of the youngest riders in the field this afternoon. Mikael Karlsson leads. Per Jonsson in second place. Mikael Karlsson from Mariestad. Per Jonsson from Stockholm. Third place goes to Connie Iversen. But can Jonsson make up any ground? Mikael Karlsson, recent appearance in the World Under-21 final, finishing on 8 points, and I'm sure well pleased with that, considering age just 19 years of age. And well, as I told you, the youngest competitor in this field this afternoon, doing very, very well indeed. He leads still from Per Jonsson. Still back in third place is Connie Iversen. Well, all action, Mikael Karlsson for the crowd, well pleased with that one. He gets the 3 points. Per Jonsson drops his first point of this Swedish Championship, and third place goes to Connie Iversen. So that's the result of heat number 8. All riders now having 2 outings, but it's 2 riders, Cook and Arlene, who head the pack. And join us for more from Mariestad after break. To Mariestad in Sweden, where all the competitors now in the Swedish final have had 2 outings. You take a look at the scoreboard, it is John Cook and Peter Norlin both unbeaten after 2 rides on 6 points. Klaus Iversen and Per Jonsson dropped just 1, they're on 5. Henrik Gustafsson, Jimmy Nielsen, Mikael Karlsson and Tony Rickardson all on 4 points. So without further ado, let's have a few words down one of the joint leaders, the American in the field, John Cook.
Well, things are going good so far. Fortunately, Peter Norlin dropped a couple in that last ride, and I'm up against him in my 4th heat, so that's going to take a little pressure off, but it's still, every heat's very crucial in an event like this, so hopefully I can keep coming off the gate. I've gone back to the inner gates now, I'll be coming off of gate 1, which is a little difficult to hit the dirt in the first turn, but if I can get away enough and get the momentum up, I may be lucky enough to do that. So it's a little bit of pressure off, but still we got Mikael Karlsson, which is a hot favorite right now. He's on a roll too, so I just gotta keep my thoughts together and keep going.
For a Swedish finalist, doesn't he speak good English? We move on to heat number 9, which sees Nicholas Karlsson ride in red, Connie Iversen ride in blue, Henrik Gustafsson white, and Klaus Iversen in yellow and black. This, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is heat number 9. Up go the tapes, the engines roar into that first turn, and the first one to show is blue, Connie and his brother Klaus on the outside of him. Connie Iversen blue, Klaus in yellow and black, and just look at Klaus Iversen drive round his brother. Third place is Nicholas Karlsson at this moment in time, but all eyes are on the 2 Iversen boys. Klaus in yellow, Connie in blue, and Nicholas Karlsson back in 3rd position. So Klaus Iversen was the shock merchant in Vetlanda in 1991 and is certainly proving to be a little bit of a surprise merchant here in Mariestad 1 year on. So Klaus Iversen leads, Connie Iversen 2nd, Nicholas Karlsson, and the news that Henrik Gustafsson is back in 4th place is not good news at all for his cause and for the Kumla fans who have travelled just down the road. It's a local derby for them when they race at Kumla. So Gustafsson back in 4th place, which is the shock, trying to make up ground on Nicholas Karlsson, but it's no doubt about the man in pole position and getting the win is Klaus Iversen. 2nd place is brother Connie, and in 3rd place is Nicholas Karlsson. So proving just a little bit of a thorn in the side of one of these top stars. Klaus Iversen gets a good win in heat number 9. Heat number 10, Per Jonsson red, Jimmy Nielsen blue, Tony Olsen white, and John Cook unbeaten so far on the outside in yellow and black. This could be a very interesting race with Jonsson and Nielsen and Olsen on the inside of Cook, and it'd be interesting to see their tactics as they go into the first turn in this particular race. Just watch for the move and see if they can get onto the outside and block John Cook's manoeuvre around the outside. No, it's Jonsson who's got there, Cook driving wide, but has he got the speed? Jonsson's got there, but Cook, with hardly any room whatsoever, drives around Per Jonsson. So John Cook in yellow and black goes to pole position. Jonsson in 2nd place, Jimmy Nielsen 3rd, and Tony Olsen at the back. But what a brave and tenacious ride by John Cook. Just coming out of that 2nd bend, Jonsson went out wide as we expected him to do to try and block that manoeuvre. In fairness to Per Jonsson, he left the gap for him, which is fair speedway, but Cook said, hey fella, I'm coming through, and drove down that back straight. Tremendous speed from the 33-year-old. Just look at his leg leaving the bike. The cowboy from California, down the back straight. Jonsson still in 2nd place and Nielsen 3rd. but this will be John Cook's third win of the afternoon. And who would bet that an American could possibly win the Swedish final? Cook wins. Jönsson in second place, Nielsen third. John Cook now moves in to heat, or the interval stage we know here at Mariestad, unbeaten on 9 points. And it's from Peter Norleen, who comes up later in heat number 12 to see if he can join him at the interval stage, still unbeaten. But John Cook gets his third win in heat number 10. Heat number 11 sees Mikael Karlsson, a good win for him last over Per Jönsson. He rides in red. Jimmy Ingman from Stockholm in blue. Nicholas Klingberg, Mariestad in white. And Tony Rickardsson, yellow and black from Helsingborg. That's the full lineup for heat number 11 of this 1992 Swedish Speedway final. Brought as always by the hotshot cameras of Screen Sport. As I told you before, Ovi Funden, the legendary legend Ovi Funden, 9 times Swedish champion, right from the years of 1956 right the way through to 1970 was Ovi Funden's reign, getting those 9 championships. And straight away it's Mikael Karlsson who leads from second place, Tony Rickardsson. So Mikael Karlsson leads. What a tremendous prospect he's going to be. Tony Rickardsson, second place in yellow and black. And really, we've got to say, this young fella's got a great future in front of him. Be interested to see what English promoter takes a gamble on him in the next couple of years. Rickardsson trying to make up ground. Jimmy Ingman in third place, Klingberg back in fourth. And Mikael Karlsson looking set for his second win. Dropped 1 point in his first outing behind Jimmy Nielsen and Peter Karlsson, his brother, but then has bounced back with 2 wins if he can stay out of trouble. Looking very, very smooth for the age of just 19. Mikael Karlsson from Mariestad, and no doubt the crowd are going to give him a round of applause as he gets his second win. Second place goes to Tony Rickardsson. Third place for Jimmy Ingman, no points for Klingberg in fourth place. But Mikael Karlsson must be full of confidence after his second win in heat number 11. We move on to heat number 12. There's Dennis Lundqvist going in white. This is the race before the interval stage here in Mariestad. Peter Norleen rides in red, the only other unbeaten rider. Kenneth Lindby in blue. Dennis Lundqvist is in white, and Peter Karlsson from Mariestad is in yellow and black. So can the cowboy from Eskilstuna join John Cook at the top of the pack at the interval stage? All those questions will be answered in just a minute's time from that green light. 295-metre circuit, all action, all throttle here at Mariestad. This is heat 12. Norleen gets to drive into that first turn. Norleen leads in red, but coming around the outside of him is Peter Karlsson in yellow and black. And coming underneath him in blue is Lindby. So Peter Karlsson, yellow and black, leads. And Karlsson must be really a thorn in for Peter Norleen's side after his success in that run-off in last year's final. Norleen back on Lindby to second place. But it's Peter Karlsson who leads. Norleen second, Lindby third, Lundqvist fourth, in that order. 2 laps gone, Lindby not finished, trying to make up ground in the challenge on the outside of Norleen. Still Peter Karlsson leads. Norleen second, Lindby third, and Lundqvist coming through to join him now. We're on the final lap of what has become an eventful heat number 12 before the interval stage here in Mariestad. Norleen now, just with his nose in front, but just look at Lindby, drive round the outside of him. No doubt about the winner, that's Peter Karlsson, but who's going to get second place? It's just Lindby on the line, who gets there? Third place is Peter Norleen, but what a brave ride from Lindby to get second place. Peter Karlsson the winner, second place to Kenneth Lindby, and in third position was Peter Norleen. So, interesting stages. John Cook unbeaten on 9 points. Klaus Iversen now in second place on 8. 3 on 7, Norleen, Jönsson and Mikael Karlsson, and Rickardsson and Peter Karlsson both on 6 points. But it's John Cook, the American with a Swedish Speedway licence, that they've all got to beat here in Mariestad this afternoon, after all riders have now had 3 outings in the 1992 Swedish Speedway Championship. Join us for more action here in Sweden after the break. 1992 Swedish Speedway final. Currently it's John Cook unbeaten on 9 points at the interval stage here in Mariestad. Let's have a few words with the Swedish team manager Bo Verbrand, an American Speedway champion in Sweden.
Over the years, so he have a good chance to win the final, and now he have everything on his side, you see. So the other one must try very, very hard. But the next race, 14, must be the most important for the meeting, because you have Peter Marlin, Klaus Ivarsson, Michael Carlson and John Cook, you see. So look forward to see that.
So we move on to heat number 13. The track has been regraded. Peter Carlson rides in red, Per Jonsson is in blue, Tony Rickardsson white, and Henrik Gustafsson, who dropped a 0 last time out, is in yellow and black, which is a bit of a surprise for Screen Sport viewers of this very talented rider from Kumla. So an all-action race, heat number 13, with Rickardsson, Peter Carlson and Jonsson, the 3 previous Swedish title holders, here in this race together. And the first one to show is a rider in red, Peter Carlson, who leads. Jonsson in second place in blue, but coming around the outside of him is Rickardsson, but Jonsson just about holding him at bay at the moment. But it's Peter Carlson that leads. Jonsson second, Rickardsson third, and Henke Gustafsson back in fourth position. Well, this really, ladies and gentlemen, is a bit of surprise to see Henke running 2 last. But Peter Carlson on his home circuit really making his presence felt. Per Jonsson trying to make up ground. Recently he's second in a world final, in a rain-affected world final in Poland. Tony Rickardsson third, Henke Gustafsson fourth. But Peter Carlson is such a mean machine here in Mariestad in the Swedish Elite League, and also having a very, very good season with Wolverhampton in the Home Fire League. One more lap of heat number 13. Peter Carlson looking set for another win. He's certainly not out of things either. As Peter Carlson gets his wheels in line and comes up to take the win. Peter Carlson wins, Per Jonsson in second place, and Tony Rickardsson back in third. So Peter Carlson gets 3 more points to his name. He punches hard to get the old adrenaline flowing. 2 points for Per Jonsson and 1 for Tony Rickardsson. So as we heard from Bo Verbrand, the Swedish team manager, heat number 14 is when a lot of questions are going to be answered. There in red, the unbeaten John Cook goes into gate 1. Peter Norlin in blue, Mikael Carlson white, Klaus Ivarsson dropped just 1 point. He's in yellow and black. And really, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the kettle boils here in heat 14. Something has got to give in this one, as the riders just take that extra few seconds to get a bit of adrenaline flowing, try and psych out the opponent. That's what it gets to in the speedway terms. When it gets to all action, they know what they got to do. Just those extra few seconds, the extra bit of guarding at the track, and just put their fellow competitors off just a little bit. That happens all over the world. Mikael Carlson and Klaus Ivarsson just saying, go on you two, you get on with it, which is probably a wise thing to do. Cook on the inside, Norlin in gate 2, Mikael Carlson gate 3, Klaus Ivarsson gate 4. This is heat number 14. Up go the tapes, those engines roar. Cook's got another good one from gate 1. Cook leads, cutting out underneath him now is Mikael Carlson, but he can't do it. It's Cook that's got the lead. John Cook from Kumla leads from, in second place, Mikael Carlson from Mariestad. Klaus Ivarsson, Vetlanda third. John Cook really sped from the tapes and now has built up such a substantial lead. And really, we have to say, are we going to have a little bit of a surprise here in Sweden and say the first ever foreigner win the Swedish Championship? And that's the only way you can describe it, because you look down the list of competitors that have won it, right back from Torsten Sorberg back in 1936 to the legendary Ovi Fundin, Björn Knudsen, Gaute Norden, Leif Lennon Krona, and in later days rather, Jan Andersson and Anders Michanek. And now it looks as though we could have an American winning that title as John Cook comes up to take his 4th win of the afternoon. Second place goes to the rider in white, Mikael Carlson. In third place goes to Klaus Ivarsson. But it's John Cook who now goes on 12 points after winning a very, very easy heat number 14 by his standards. After the second bend, it's fair to say that it was plain sailing. He had a superb start from gate number 1, and he's watched the riders go into the first turn. It was Mikael Carlson in white who tried to cut back on him. At that moment in time, the only threat was going to come from him. But as soon as John Cook got his wheels in line, it was all plain sailing after that move. We move on to heat 15, which sees Connie Ivarsson ride in red, Nicholas Klingberg blue, Dennis Lufquist in white, and Jimmy Nielsen yellow and black. Heat number 15 of the 1992 Swedish Speedway final. And into that bend they drive, and Connie Ivarsson has got the drop. Connie's in leads, but it's Dennis Lufquist in white who comes round the outside of him. Dennis Lufquist from Gotland, who appeared here just a couple of weeks ago for Gotland, in the Swedish Elite League action. We won't mention the scoreline, Dennis, on that occasion, but it's Lufquist who leads. Second place in red, Connie Iversen. Third place in blue is Nicholas Klingberg from Mariestad. Dennis Lufquist, who also races in England for the Kings Lynn Stars up there in Norfolk. Connie Iversen from Vetlanda. And Nicholas Klingberg, of course, rides from Mariestad here in the Swedish Elite League. And Jimmy Nielsen tailed off in fourth position at the moment. But we enter the fourth and final lap of heat number 15. And Dennis Lufquist looking set for 3 points here. Round the final two bends of this 295-metre circuit, in which the track record is gone on several occasions this afternoon. But it's Lufquist who gets a win and 3 points. Second place goes to Connie Iversen, third to Nicholas Klingberg. Well, it was John Cook who took the track record in heat number 1, 77.6, should I say. But after that, it was beaten on 3 other occasions. Heat number 3, heat number 5, and heat number 7 and heat number 8 as well. They beat the traditional record of 52.8 by Peter Carlson and Calvin Tatum. We move on to heat number 16, after which we'll check on the old scoreboard. Jimmy Ingman rides in red. Nicholas Carlson rides in blue. Kenneth Lindby rides in white. And Tony Olsen, the Gotland punk, in yellow and black gate 4. This is heat 16. Away they drive then from the start into that first turn. And it's a rider in blue. Nicholas Carlson has got there. Tony Olsen trying to come round the outside. Carlson leads. Olsen in second place, and these two had many fierce battles in the Swedish Elite League. Nicholas Carlson who leads at the moment. Tony Olsen second. Third place is Kenneth Lindby, also from Gotland. Olsen there as well. But it's Nicholas Carlson from Mariestad who leads. Back in fourth place, Jimmy Ingman from Stockholm. But it's all eyes on Nicholas Carlson, and I'm sure the applause of the Mariestad faithfuls, who also can sense a Swedish Elite League title in 1992. It's getting desperately tight at the top of that league table. 3 points wanted from 3 matches from Mariestad to lift that first ever Swedish Elite League title, and this is one of the mainstays of their side, Nicholas Carlson, who's coming around for a win in heat number 16. It's Nicholas Carlson who gets it. Second place for Tony Olsen, in third place for Kenneth Lindby. So Nicholas Carlson gets 3 points in heat number 16, and I'll look at the old scoreboard and join us for the conclusion of the Swedish Speedway final from Mariestad after the break. Back to Mariestad in Sweden for the conclusion of the 1992 Swedish Speedway final. 4 heats to go before we crown the new champion. Let's take a look at the old scoreboard, and a clear leader. John Cook, 4 wins on 12 points, and then 4 riders on 9 points. Klaus Iversen, Per Jonsson, Mikael Carlson and Peter Carlson, the 2 brothers there, all those 4 on 9 points. We move on then to heat number 17, which sees Henkel Gustafsson riding red, Mikael Carlson in blue, Tony Olsen white, Dennis Lufquist in yellow-black. All 16 of these riders have come through 2 semi-finals for this competition. One was held in Karlstad and the other one in Nyköping. So Henrik Gustafsson throwing a couple of lasts in this Swedish final, which is certainly a little bit of a surprise by his standards. He's on gate number 1. Let's see if he can get amongst the points in this particular heat. Up with the tapes, the clutches drop, the engines roar, and into that turn it's Gustafsson who's got there. Gustafsson leads, Mikael Carlson in blue, and Lufquist goes around the outside of Carlson. So it's Henkel Gustafsson the lead, Dennis Lufquist in second place, Mikael Carlson in blue in third, and Tony Olsen trailing in the wake in fourth position. Heat number 17, all 4 of these riders having their final outing. Henrik Gustafsson leads, looking good to finish the Swedish final on 3 points. He still leads from in second place, Dennis Lufquist, third, Mikael Carlson. Gustafsson, such a competitor these days in all the leagues that he races in. Joint fourth in the recent World Final along with Tommy Knudsen of Denmark on 9 points. I'm sure he was pleased with that. Meeting really rain affected, and well, when it tried out, Henkel got going. But coming round to collect 3 points in heat number 17 and finish on 8 points here in the Swedish final is Henrik Gustafsson gets a win. Dennis Lufquist on second place on 2 points. He ends up on 7. And Mikael Carlson ends up the Swedish final on 10 points. But it's Henrik Gustafsson who wins heat number 17. We move on to heat number 18 when all the questions could be answered. John Cook in blue, just doing the gardening if he gets first, second in this particular race, or third, he has become the Swedish champion. He's just got to pick up a point to do it. He's on 12 points at the moment, and the nearest one can only get alongside him on 12 points. So if he can get third place, he is the 1992 Swedish Speedway champion, which, ladies and gentlemen, is just a little bit of a surprise, not in his racing ability, but when you think he is American, we have to say, well, it's funny old sport now in Sweden and all. So it is Jimmy Ingman red, John Cook blue, Peter Carlson in white, and Connie Everson in yellow and black. Up got the tapes, the engines roaring, no action, and the first one to show is Cook. He's got there. John Cook in blue leads. Second place in red is Jimmy Ingman. In white, coming around the outside of him, is Peter Carlson. Jimmy Ingman and Peter Carlson locked together, but all eyes are on the front man, John Cook, just watching him take his leg off of that machine as the bike straightens up, just to get the right amount of weight, to get those wheels and the traction going. There's certainly no better ambassador to watch for the art of racing than John Cook. He's come to Mariestad this afternoon. It's probably an outsider. It's probably one of those riders they suggested could be a spoiler in the pack, but he's pushed all beside him. And we are looking, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at the new Swedish Speedway champion. With one more lap to go, it's going to be John Cook, who has entered the record books here in Mariestad, and he's already waving to the crowd. Going round the final two bends, are we going to get a wheelie from the 33-year-old from California, who gets the win and takes the 1992 Swedish final? John Cook is the winner. The applause all round Mariestad is for him. Peter Carlson in white, to relinquish that crown after heat one, is the first to shake his hand. Peter Carlson finishing in second place. And what can you say about Cookie? All action, cowboy he was known in England in his earlier days, now just enjoying his speedway in Sweden. And it just shows when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And there certainly is no more thrill merchant, no tougher ambassador than John Cook. Throws his goggles to the crowd. John Cook, the 1992 Swedish Speedway champion. Heat number 19, and the dust is now settled, and it's very difficult to follow that, but follow that we've got to. Still 1 and 2 answers to settle for the silver and bronze medal positions. Nicholas Klingberg red, Pierre Jonsson blue, Peter Norlin in white, and Nicholas Carlson in yellow and black. Heat number 19. Jonsson still in a shout of the bronze medal position, along with Klaus Iversen. Silver and bronze, shall I say, positions, and those two, of course, fought out that duel for bronze position in Vetlanda last season. So heat number 19's got a lot to answer for. Can Pierre Jonsson get the win? The bikes roar. Norlin's got the drop in white, but Jonsson drives underneath him. Norlin white, Jonsson in blue. Jonsson it is who goes down the back straight. Just look at the rider in red. Nicholas Klingberg in yellow and black. Nicholas Carlson, who tries to break up the momentum of these two. Nicholas Carlson, who drives underneath Jonsson and Norlin, but it's now in second place. It's Jonsson who leads. Nicholas Carlson in second place, and Peter Norlin back in third. Norlin, the early pacemaker, along with John Cook, relegated to third place, but it's Pierre Jonsson who leads at this moment in time and will finish on 12 points if he stays out of trouble. One of many riders, of course, on 12 points, 9 points before these fast last 4 outings, and that means a certain rostrum place for him. Waits to see what happens in heat number 20 with Klaus Iversen. Pierre Jonsson coming up to take the flag and win heat number 19. Second place goes to Nicholas Carlson. Peter Norlin has to be content with third place. So Pierre Jonsson knows that he's going to have a run-off if Klaus Iversen can win heat number 20, so there's still a lot of things to answer for as we go into the final race of what we expect to be the final race, to see if there's going to be any run-offs for the rostrum positions here in Mariestad this afternoon. This is heat number 20, Jimmy Nielsen red, Tony Rickardsson blue, Klaus Iversen in white, and Kurt Limby in yellow and black. Well, if Klaus Iversen wins this one, it will mean a run-off between himself and Per Jonsson for silver and bronze positions here in Mariestad this afternoon. So Roch for the rider in white. Jimmy Nielsen will do his utmost to try and stop that, being a Stockholm teammate of Per Jonsson's. Tony Rickardsson also thereabouts with some good points. He's needs a few more, shall we say. He's on 7 points at this moment in time. And Kenneth Limby, certainly been a thrill merchant this afternoon. There's no doubt whatsoever on that moment. He's on 1 point, but worth a lot more is fair to say. So they draw into the line for heat number 20, the final planned race, but we wait to see if Klaus Iversen can get there. Up go the tapes, the engines roar. Jimmy Nielsen's got the drop on Klaus Iversen. Nielsen leads, locks up, tries to cut back, but he can't do it, and it's Klaus Iversen down the back straight who leads. Second place in blue is Tony Rickardson. Third place, Kenneth Limby. Jimmy Nielsen now relegated to 4th place. And it's Klaus Iversen from Vetlanda, the spoil merchant in the pack, who goes down on the second lap here in Heat 20. And ladies and gentlemen, this will mean a run-off for minor places. If it stays this way between Klaus Iversen from Vetlanda, Per Jonsson from Stockholm, we know the winner, that's John Cook. He's on 15 and sitting pretty. Tony Rickardson now coming under pressure from Kenneth Limby. But Klaus Iversen, who really has been a surprise merchant, and when I say that, he was a surprise merchant last year, so what should stop him this season? He certainly rises to the occasion on the big finals. Klaus Iversen from Vetlanda coming up to take the win in heat number 20, and what a run-off for silver and bronze position here in Mariestad this afternoon. Second place in heat 20 went to Tony Rickardson, and third place went to Kenneth Limby. So we now know that John Cook is the 1992 Swedish Speedway champion, but we now know there is going to be a run-off between Per Jonsson and Klaus Iversen for bronze and silver position in the 1992 Swedish Speedway final. So the two riders to the line for this sudden death runoff. These two met, you may recall, here on Screen Spot last year. On that occasion it was for 3rd and 4th position. This year it's for 2nd and 3rd. And Klaus Iversen is in white, Per Jonsson in blue. So for the minor medal positions of silver and bronze, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a runoff. Riders settle, the green light goes on, up go the tapes, those engines roar, and the first one to show is Jonsson, but has Klaus Iversen got any speed round the outside of him? Jonsson leads in blue, second place Klaus Iversen. Jonsson still holding the line. Klaus Iversen tries to cut back, fails to do it. So is Per Jonsson going to end the Swedish final in the same place that he ended the world final 1 week ago in Wacław in Poland? Second place on that occasion to Gary Havelock of England. This time, second place to American John Cook. But has Klaus Iversen got anything left? The vast crowd here in Mariestad baking in the sunlight, which is more than what was happening yesterday in the rain. But Per Jonsson looking set for silver medal position in Mariestad. One more lap to go. But Per Jonsson leads from Klaus Iversen. Jonsson from Stockholm. Klaus Iversen from Vetlanda. And it's a 26-year-old from Stockholm who's going to take silver medal. It's Per Jonsson in second place. Klaus Iversen has to be content with the bronze medal position. So there we are. We now know the final placings in the 1992 Swedish Speedway Championship. John Cook is the Swedish Speedway title holder on a 15-point maximum, and it's fair to say that this afternoon John Cook has been in a class of his own. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. Second place goes to the Wheatley King, Per Jonsson from Stockholm, and in third place from Vetlanda is Klaus Iversen. Those two positions finished after a runoff. So it's all down to John Cook, who I'm sure is pleased with life at this moment in time. Rides for Kumla, who takes the title. The crowd coming out onto the centre green as we witness the presentation. John Cook, the 33-year-old from California, nowadays promoting jet skiing as well as racing just the Swedish Elite League, who takes the title on a faultless 15-point maximum. Second place, Per Jonsson from Stockholm on 12 points. And third place goes to Klaus Iversen from Vetlanda, also on 12 points. There it is. Cook 15, Jonsson 12, Iversen 12, Peter Carlson, the former champion, on 11, along with his brother Mikael, Tony Rickardson on 9, Peter Nollien, the early pacemaker, on 8, and Henrik Gustafsson on 7 points, finishing on 8th place. But it's John Cook that we hold our hats off to as he gets the hand from Per Jonsson, and the rest of the riders. Lufqvist on 7, Nicholas Carlson 6, along with Connie Iversen, Jimmy Nielsen on 5, Tony Olsson and Kenneth Lindby on 4, and Jimmy Ingman and Nicholas Klingberg both on 2 points. So there we go, that's the final scoreboards. There's no more racing, so let's have a few words then with the Swedish champion, John Cook.
Yeah, real happy. Like I say, we interviewed the last time that, you know, still had 2 rides that were very important to be able to come back.